right, let's get some analysis on the campaign and the performance of both leaders. Joining me now from Canberra, National Editor at the Australian newspaper, Dennis Shanahan. Well, great to have you on the show as always, but particularly in this campaign. I read a lot of your commentary. You've been on the money all the way through, Dennis. The assessment of a shocking week for Albanese's played out in the Resolve poll out today. Support for the Labor leader gone from 38 to 34%. Coalition's lifted by one, 34 to 35. The Prime Minister now has an 8-point lead over his opponent. I wasn't so sure that everything was cutting through in those early days. I think people are just settling into the rhythm of the election campaign. That poll, though, says it is.
Indeed, Peter, it's a very bad poll for Labor, very bad poll for Anthony Albanese. These are huge moves. These are big moves, and they are far beyond the margin of error. Some of these moves of percentage points of 4% are almost at the level you see in a poll shift when there has been a change of leader. This is the historical movement within polls. So this has been very bad for Labor. It is what you would have expected, but it's coming at the worst time, the beginning of the campaign. It's also building on a slight change that was occurring before the campaign was announced. Just after the budget, there seemed to be a bit of a shift back to the coalition and to Scott Morrison. Well, that's now happened in spades, and I think that Anthony Albanese's standing has really suffered. It is only the first week in a 6-week campaign, so there is a chance for Labor to recover, but this will be a big psychological blow. And of course, there's news poll in the Australian tomorrow to come.
I'm going to talk to Jim Moulton in a moment about these border issues, but there were stumbles again today on an issue as fundamental as border protection. We know there were stumbles last Thursday on top of all the economic stuff earlier in the week. These are two critical equities that the government has that Labor doesn't have, and the stumbles today and stumbles again yesterday would make me think he's lost his confidence. How does he come back from here, Dennis?
Well, for a start, he has to not panic. He's in a bad place, there's no doubt about that. What we are now seeing is the government and Labor, even Stevens. Effectively, the campaign has started today. We're back to both sides being in the mid-30s on primary vote, which means both sides are at risk of not getting a majority government, and both sides have to make up substantial ground. Now, I think what Anthony Albanese needs to do, and what he's trying to do, is his mistakes have focused the debate on the economy and border protection. That's not where Labor wants to be. If the economy is what the debate is about during this campaign, Scott Morrison will win. Labor has to shift. It is already trying to shift to Medicare or Mediscare Part 2. What seems to be a baseless campaign on the shift on the cashless debit card, as well as trying to shift to the Integrity Commission. So I think Labor is trying to shift the debate off the economy, but continued mistakes about border protection, including about Labor's own policy on temporary protection visas, only makes it more difficult, because the vacuum around Anthony Albanese on policy and character is being filled by his mistakes and what the government says he is, and saying that he is a risk. They have to shift off this economic debate very soon, and he's got to stop the mistakes which just keep hounding his campaign and just making it look like everything, the wheels are coming off. And this is what happens. Once you start getting mistakes, everyone looks for another mistake, no matter how small, and the campaign can be completely derailed.
He doesn't look campaign fit to me. I think he looks like an amateur leader, but we'll see what will happen. I think we can judge it by the end of this week. We'll get a real sense of where it's headed. We've got Sky News People Forum, as I said a bit earlier, on Wednesday. I think that'll be a big test. Dennis Shanahan, thank you for your time.